I will say, Luke, that unfortunately we have to deal with another MAGA crazy. Okay.
Oh, no.
It's not Marjorie Trader Green. It is Representative Clay Higgins. So another member of the MAGA contingent in the House of Representatives. This is one of the representatives from Louisiana. He's a colorful character. He's not quite as high profile as, again, the Lauren Boeberts, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, the Matt Gaetzes, but he's like on the next rung down, and I would argue no less crazy. Okay. So I'd like to play a clip for you, and you can see it firsthand.
No, you're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. Aren't you a congressperson touching me? Get off me.
Someone video this. Get this video.
Get off me.
Get this video. This is assault.
Get off me.
This is assault.
Clay Higgins. You're a U.S. congressman touching a person. You can't put him off the street. Get off.
Let go of him.
Let him know. Let him know. You calm down. You need to calm down.
Calm down, sir. Sometimes I wonder if they ever kind of try to pull themselves out into a third person perspective and watch themselves and think, wait, how do I look acting the way that I do? It's almost as if they are playing a character of themselves. They are trying to be a caricature of what this radical, just unhinged type individual would be.
Well, it's funny you say that, because for the first thing I'll say is we saw that clip. There are other clips circulating. The protester in question was heckling Republicans, as is right to do, outside the House of Representatives, asking Republican Congresspeople questions, sharp, pertinent questions, but all the same. And we've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene, not to name drop her, but she famously heckled people before and during her congressional career.
Survivor of a mass shooting.
Yeah, David Hogg, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So again, but that goes to the asymmetry of expectation. It's okay for Republicans to not only heckle and protest and be obnoxious, but it's actually okay for them to do it even when the target is the survivor of a mass shooting that only probably occurred because of Republican, disinterest in legislating against these things. But I digress. But anyway, not only that, but Republicans have absolutely no tolerance when the shoe's on the other foot and they're being heckled. So this man asked, Marjorie Taylor Greene Lauren Boebert a question about her divorce. And then Clay Higgins just tried to bull rush him. I don't even know when he was going to stop. He just kept moving him. Like, I feel like they're crossing the Mississippi at this point. He's just like sheepdogging him towards California. It was absolute madness.
Absolutely.
Can I show you this tweet?
Yeah.
I mean, like this is the other thing too. So you might think to yourself, well, maybe Clay Higgins, that was in bad form, but maybe he's consistent on this. Maybe he's a consistent MAGA Republican, but it turns out he's not. If you look at this tweet, Representative Clay Higgins has this to say about protests. Thousands of 18-wheelers converging on D.C. to protest government oppression of rights and freedoms is about as American can get. So, Luke, maybe I'm missing something. It seems to me that perhaps Mr. Higgins has different views on protest depending on who's doing the protesting.
Can you imagine? I think we've now had 3 stories, or maybe 4, just in this one show that are very prominent and clear examples of members of the GOP, but more specifically the MAGA GOP, openly, proudly violating their own principles and doing so just as, like I said, proudly and blatantly as you possibly could. If we heard in situations like that, COVID protests, oh, we love protests so much. Sometimes you got to disrupt. And that's how they sometimes defend January 6th, even though it wasn't a peaceful protest. And then here, someone's heckling Lauren Boebert, and he's going to use his body to intervene. But as you've said before, even in this show, that's kind of the GOP superpower, or the MAGA. I do want to specify that more often and more consistently. There are Republicans still that we talk about who aren't the same as MAGA, and that's clear to say. And especially in the MAGA GOP, it's the superpower, because you can, as long as the voters don't care, which they don't, with the lack of consistency when it comes to these principles, because then there's no way to catch them on anything. They can just hop from one lily pad logical argument to another.
No, 100%. And I was going to say, but it's really not even worth it. I was just going to point out that Clay Higgins during it was after the 2021 it was inauguration day when President Biden was inaugurated. Clay Higgins during January 6th voted against certifying President Biden's victory. And so a person in Alaska called him a traitor. And Clay Higgins, who is obviously very well balanced, no issues whatsoever, challenged him to a fight. He said, "You pick a ring, let's fight," to a person who called him a traitor. So I'm not sure what, yeah, exactly. I'm not sure what more there is to say other than that this is an example of the normalization of violence and radicalism in both rhetoric and action in the MAGA wing of the GOP.
Thank you so much for watching this video. For the outro, I want to quickly plug Josiah's channel. Hit them with it, Josiah.
All right, folks, you can find me at youtube.com/@ponderingpolitics, one word. If you like progressive politics, if you like the Republican Party being called out, and if you like collaborations with Luke Beasley, hit me up there.